Hi soothing souls, I hope you're all doing really well. Just a quick reminder to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. It means the world to me. Now let's get started with tonight's relaxation. So tonight, let's escape to a hidden cabin in the rain. Imagine being tucked away in a warm, secluded retreat, surrounded by the soothing sounds of raindrops gently falling outside. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the peaceful ambience. This is called the hidden cabin in the rain. The first raindrops landed with a soft patter against the leaves, tiny echoes of a coming storm. Lyra pulled her hoodie tighter around her face, her boots sinking lightly into the damp earth as she walked deeper into the forest. She had always loved the rain, how it softened the world, muffling every sound except for the rhythmic drumming against the trees. Tonight, she was following an old trail, barely visible beneath the fallen leaves, searching for the cabin she had only heard whispers about. They said it was hidden deep within the woods, a place untouched by time, where the fireplace was always lit and the scent of cedar and rain lingered in the air. The rain thickened, dripping from the branches above, tracing cool trails along her hands as she brushed past the wet ferns. Then, just as a distant rumble of thunder rolled through the sky, she saw it, a small wooden cabin, its windows glowing faintly with golden light. Curious and drawn by the warmth, she stepped into the creaking porch and knocked gently. The door eased up as if expecting her. Inside, the cabin was quiet except for the crackling of a fire, casting flickering shadows against the wooden walls. A steaming cup of tea sat on the table, untouched. She hesitated. Someone had been here moments ago. But as the rain whispered against the roof, and the warmth wrapped around her like an old friend, Lyra realized something. She felt safe. The storm outside could rage as fiercely as it pleased, but here, inside the forgotten haven, she was exactly where she was meant to be. And so, she sat by the fire, listening to the rain, waiting to see if the cabin's unseen host would return, or if the house itself had simply been waiting for someone like her all along. The fire crackled again, gently casting flickering golden light across the wooden walls. Lyra ran her fingers across the armrest of the old rocking chair, its surface worn smooth from years of quiet use. Outside, the rain grew heavier, drumming against the roof in a steady, rhythmic pattern. She took a deep breath, inhaling the scent of rain-dampened wood and the faint of spice of something warm, perhaps cinnamon or clove. The tea still sat untouched on the table. Its steam curled lazily into the air, vanishing before it could reach the ceiling. A strange feeling settled in her chest. The cabin was inviting, comforting, yet something about it felt timeless. As if it had existed long before she arrived and would remain long after she left, unchanged by the world outside. She glanced around the small space. The shelves were filled with books, their spines faded, their pages gently yellowed. A woolen blanket was folded neatly on the couch, as though waiting for someone to use it. The windows, though streaked with rain, revealed nothing but an endless stretch of trees, shrouded in mist. It felt like a dream. Lyra reached for the tea, wrapping her fingers around the ceramic cup. It was still warm, not scalding, not cool, just the perfect temperature, as if prepared moments before her arrival. As she lifted it to her lips, a soft creak came from the back of the cabin. She froze. The sound was not loud, not forceful, just a gentle protest of wood shifting under her weight, like footsteps. Slow, measured. She turned her head toward the hallway leading deeper into the cabin. A door stood slightly ajar, its edges lost in shadow. The firelight didn't quite reach it, leaving whatever lay beyond veiled in darkness. For a moment, Lyra considered calling out, but the words caught her in her throat. Instead, she listened. The wind whispered through the trees outside, blending with the steady rhythm of the rain. The fire crackled softly, and then nothing. Silence. Had she imagined it, perhaps the storm had settled the cabin's old bones, shifting the wood as it breathed against the wind. She let out a slow breath, forcing her shoulders to relax. The warmth of the fire, the comfort of the soft chair beneath her, it all felt so safe, so inviting. Maybe she was just tired, her mind playing tricks on her in the dim light. And so, she leaned back, sipping the tea, letting its warmth spread through her as the rain whispered against the cabin walls. Time passed in quiet serenity. Serenity, serenity, serenity. The fire burned low, its embers glowing like tiny suns in the darkness. The rain softened, turning into a gentle mist that kissed the windows. Lyra let her gaze wander over the bookshelves, curiosity blooming in her chest. She stood, stretching her limbs before running her fingers along the spines of the books. Some had titles she recognized: old fairy tales, poetry collections, histories of distant lands. But one book caught her eye. It was smaller than the rest, tucked away in the corner, its cover worn and unmarked. She pulled it free, feeling the aged leather beneath her fingertips. The pages inside were filled with neat, careful handwriting. A journal. She turned to the first page. The rain brought me here. I did not seek it, yet I found it, hidden where only the lost may stumble upon it. The cabin is old, older than stories, older than time. It waits, it welcomes, and once you enter, you may never wish to leave. Lyra's breath hitched. She flipped forward, reading fragments of entries, short, cryptic notes about the cabin, about the rain, about the feeling of being watched yet never alone. I hear footsteps in the night, but no one knocks. The fire never dies. The tea is always warm. Her fingers trembled slightly as she turned to the final page. There was only one sentence, written in hurried strokes. The cabin keeps who it chooses. A gust of wind howled against the windows. The fire flickered. Lyra swallowed. The journal slid from her hands, landing with a soft thud against the wooden floor. For the first time since arriving, she felt the weight of silence pressing in around her. Had the door in the hallway moved? She turned her gaze toward the shadowed doorway. The space beyond it seemed darker now, deeper. Waiting. Outside, the rain continued to fall, steady, unrelenting. And the cabin watched, welcoming, waiting, as it always had. Alright, I think that'll be it for tonight. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope you soothing souls enjoyed this story. I hope you all sleep well, and I hope you all have a great night.